We're live. Hi, it's Bill. Morning, it's Bill, the knee pain guru. Welcome to Thursday, December 19th, 2019. Today we're going to talk about understanding knee cartilage degeneration. This came to me yesterday to talk about, and it's going to be a good one. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up, like and subscribe to my channel, the knee pain guru, as well as turn on notifications for future videos. Do these videos on Mondays and Thursdays. The times may vary, so make sure you turn on the notifications so you know when I am going live so you can ask your questions, which I would like you to do today. If you do have questions regarding knee pain, doctors, physical therapists, your diagnosis, whatever the case is, please ask those over in the comments section, and we're going to guide and steer you towards looking at it in a holistic way to understand what's going on, because that's a big thing. You don't know what's going on, you don't know what to do. Well, you're going to do the wrong thing, and then it's going to keep you in pain, and then it's a mess. Okay, now we're going to get into the topic, which is understanding knee cartilage degeneration. When I first started putting down notes, because I usually have like 3 bullet points that we'll cover, and as I was getting into the complexity of knee cartilage degeneration, there is a lot of fundamental things we need to talk about first before we could get into what's going on in the knee. And this, what makes sense, when my knee situation, when I dislocated my left knee 4 times, had reconstructive surgery on the ACL in my left knee, they took out 2 pieces of meniscus, and what I was dealing with afterwards, it made sense to break it down into like common sense understanding of what's going on in the knee. Because what happens in the world around us applies to our body as well. Our body isn't like this special thing that is suddenly unique and different from all of the other universal principles that apply in life. So we have to look at a basic understanding of what's going on in the knee. It takes the mystery and the power away from the conventional medical model. The mystique, if you will, is to apply the universal principles that exist all around the body with a little bit of common sense. And that's what's important in understanding in order to develop a strategy of how you're going to get out of pain. First and foremost is to understand that cartilage degeneration doesn't happen in a bubble. Usually there's a diagnosis of arthritis first, and then the meniscus wears, and then the cartilage wears, and then you have bone on bone. So it's a continuum. And all diagnosis of arthritis is dehydrated joint. That means there's not enough lubrication getting in the joint to make it smooth. The water we have in our body, or the synovial fluid that's supposed to be in the joint, or what the joint produces, when it doesn't have enough of that lubrication, what happens is it causes irritation, and it makes it difficult to bend and extend the knee, which causes rubbing. And the more the joint gets dehydrated, the more it wears. So it's a continuum. You get diagnosed initially with arthritis, a little bit of wearing, a little bit of pain. The joint tenses up, rubs and wears more, more degeneration, more pain, squeezes tighter. So this happens over a period of time. So this isn't like you woke up one day and all of a sudden the cartilage is worn in your knee and you have bone on bone. So this is something that happens over time. So it starts with dehydration in the joint. So no matter what we're dealing with along this continuum, we're still dealing with dehydration in the joint. Lack of lubrication and too much tension in the joint caused by a neurological response to pain, which is we tense up to protect itself. We tense up. Doesn't matter if you stub your toe, you bite your lip, whatever pain your body feels, your body tenses up to protect itself. Knees are no different. And when it tenses up, it squeezes out the synovial fluid in the joint, making it difficult for any water that you drink, if you're drinking water, to get in the joint to lubricate the joint. So you have The water component, you also have the neurological component that's causing the joint to squeeze together, irritate, rub, and cause the joint to dehydrate. So understanding that it's on that spectrum or on that continuum from a little bit of arthritis to, the arthritis gets worse, and now the meniscus is wearing away, and now the cartilage is wearing away, and then we're working towards the bone-on-bone scenario. During this entire process, there's a mental component that's also going on that's saying, hey, got to use it or lose it. I got to suck it up. I got to push through the pain. I got to get to work. I got to take care of the kids, the grandkids, whatever it is. So there's a mental piece of ignoring what's going on in the knee, of pushing through the pain, of not paying attention to what your body needs. So finding a solution for the degeneration of the cartilage, there also has to be a mental component that we have to change our mindset that pain is something to be ignored, something to be pushed through. So it's an important component of this to accept that a good deal of this is perpetuated in your head. Not that it is only in your head, but that there is a mindset that needs to be changed in order to set up the conditions for the cartilage to stop wearing. So we got to deal with what's going on between the ears. It's kind of like a 12-step. It's kind of like a 12-step program. We first have to admit our approach to what we're doing isn't working. And that is a huge component in beginning to set up the conditions. So one, the knee isn't in pain anymore. And then all the supplements or shots that you want to take, stem cells that you would want to approach with the knee would even have a chance to work. This is important. It also leaves us open to what being on the other side of being in pain looks like. So we first need to stop the wearing in the knee to begin to change the neurological signaling that's causing the knee to be tight, squeezing and irritating the nerves. First and foremost, the body is not like a building, like first floor, second floor, third floor. And if one of those floors has an issue with it, it's going to collapse on top of it. It's what ends up happening, but the body is much more complex than that. The body is actually what is known as a tensegrity structure. R. Buckminster Fuller made extensive research on this. It's the idea of a system. Your body is a series of pulleys and levers. So if the knee joint collapses and it's rubbing bone on bone, there are tension patterns going on in the hips, the lower back, the ankles, the feet, the hamstrings, the quads, the shins, the calves, everywhere else in your body that are also contributing to what's going on in your knee, which causes the joint to collapse and cause the wearing. So if we're just looking at the knee and thinking we're going to stick a needle in there to put stem cells or whatever in there to regenerate the cartilage, it's like small-minded thinking. It's not looking at the bigger picture of the dynamics of what's going on in the body and what the body truly needs in order to first get out of pain. So what we want to do in this process of creating comfort in the knee by getting the pressure off of the nerves is reestablish the tensegrity structure or the balance in the body, so it's not all collapsing in on that one knee or both knees, depending on how the tension pattern is being displayed in your body. We also must start drinking water. The body needs the water to function and survive. And we have a hierarchy of water allocation. Your blood, your organs, your brain are first, second, and third in that water allocation. If you're not drinking enough water, or you're pounding Red Bulls, or you're drinking lots of coffee, which all dehydrate the body, what ends up happening is your body goes and robs the water from the bones and the synovial fluid in the joints. So if you're developing bone spurs, osteoporosis, this is a function of the body being dehydrated, and it contributes and shows up in arthritis as well. So drinking more water is going to be crucial in this process. But drinking water isn't going to be enough if we don't establish the tension in the body, the balance in the body, to take the pressure off of what's going on in the knee so the knee is comfortable. Because that's really why you're here. You're not here because you have cartilage degeneration. You're here because you have pain and lack of range of motion. If you didn't have pain or lack of range of motion, you wouldn't care what the doctor said or what the diagnosis was. You would be fine. You would continue on in your life. And that's what is most important, is to focus on what is most important. Okay, then once we're drinking the water, we got to make sure the body's absorbing the water. Because just because you drink water doesn't mean your body's prepared to absorb it. Think of a sponge that's been sitting by your sink for an extended period of time. It gets dry and hard, and you put it underneath the water, and the water will run over the top of the sponge. Well, your knee's no different. Your knee's dehydrated, just like the sponge. So what do you need to do with the sponge? You got to massage it a little bit, and then the water, it starts getting wet, and it starts absorbing into the sponge, and now the sponge starts getting soft and flexible again. Same thing happens with what's going on in your knee. So we're drinking more water. We're making sure the body has the resources it needs in order to absorb the water that it's drinking in. We're reestablishing the balance in the body, or the tensegrity structure. So now the knee starts reducing the amount of pain that it's in. So at this point, looking at what's happening, will the knee heal? Or is the knee healed? How about that? Is the knee healed? No. Will what we've done so far cause the cartilage to regrow? No. Will we cause the meniscus to regrow? No. Well, what have we actually done? We've made the knee comfortable, and we've begun to set up the conditions so the body has the opportunity to heal the knee. It's important to understand this is a process. This is a journey, not a destination. If your knee's been jacked up, that's a medical term. Your knee has been screwed up for a while. It's unrealistic to think that you're going to begin creating comfort and drinking some water, and now you're going to go back to living your life the way it was before. Remember the mindset piece. We have to change the mindset, which goes into this bigger equation. But we've set up the opportunity for your body to heal. So what do we got to look out for? The landmines and pitfalls that are inevitable where we do stuff to put the knee unnecessarily back into pain. Do you have to live your life? Absolutely. Do you have to take care of the kids? You have to get up and go to work? Absolutely. Do you still have very little time? Absolutely. But what we need to do is avoid doing unnecessary stuff. Like Gary, that can't stay out of playing softball. Or Grace that goes back and runs. The moment she gets out of pain, we have to understand we're getting the body out of pain, which optimizes its ability to begin to heal. It is not healed, though. It is just out of pain. We've changed the neurological signaling. Let's see. Okay, we're good now. Will the pain most likely come back? Yes. Are you going to do something, you're going to twist some way or do something that the pain comes back? Yes, most likely. That's what happens. You're human. The body is continually trying to get rid of tension, and then more experiences bring on tension, which reduce the space in the joint, which irritates the nerves. So we have to have reasonable expectations in this process. And then we got to create more comfort. We got to keep up with the water. We got to make sure the body's able to absorb the water. So it's a process. However, if you're out of pain and if you have full flexibility and mobility in your knee and you have the tools you need to get yourself out of pain, what are you here for? Go live your life. What we've done in this process is tap into a deeper knowledge and understanding of how to align with the powerful healing processes that exist within your nervous system, within your knee. It's much bigger. Because now instead of fighting, thinking that, well, if I do leg extensions, leg curls, and leg raises, in the hopes that the knee pain will go away, now we're lining up with your body's neurological capacity to heal itself. You're working smarter, not harder, in getting out of pain. And what you're doing, if you aren't experiencing pain, guess what? The joint's not rubbing. And if the joint's not rubbing, you're not degenerating the cartilage anymore. That's what I got for today. You like it? Give it a thumbs up. Like and subscribe to my channel, The Knee Pain Guru. Turn on notifications for future videos. Share this video with those you know that are limping. Okay, we got some questions. Reversing osteoarthritis is a pipe dream. Got it. Then you need to go somewhere else, Robert. What is a pipe dream? A pipe dream is it's an American expression for people that are negative, that don't want to try anything outside the box. Okay. So this pain guru is full of bullshit. Well, it all depends on who you talk to. For those that apply these principles, these concepts and principles that are in nature, that are supported and backed up by the tenets of osteopathy, structure governs function, then it's you'd have to determine who's full of shit. Okay, my mother had a total knee replacement 1 year ago, but she has a complaint of calf muscles. Any advice? Yeah, the concepts and principles of applying comfort is the same. It doesn't matter what part of the body it is. You're engaging the neurology, switching from a sympathetic to a parasympathetic state. And in a parasympathetic state, the body's rested and relaxed. There's more space in the joint or in the muscle or in the tendon, the ligament, the fluid, the fascia, whatever it is. And what ends up happening is it sets up the conditions so the body can heal itself. Many times what happens when people have knee replacements, the person can no longer feel the pain in the joint because the bone has been cut off and replaced with plastic and metal. But what they are feeling pain in is the referral of what the body compensates to as a result of the knee replacement. For instance, I have a doctor friend of mine. She had both of her knees replaced at once, and the wearing no longer took place in her knee, at least for now. It shifted to her hips, and about 5 or 6 years later, she had both of her hips replaced. So after she had both of her hips replaced, now all of the tension's going up into her arms and shoulders, and she's getting her shoulders replaced now. So it's one of these things. You could either, have the mentality of somebody like Robert, and think you want to be the bionic man and get every joint replaced, thinking that that's going to be the be-all end-all solution for you. Or you can get in alignment with how your body has the capacity to heal itself, and you let the body do the healing. You understand what the body is needing and wanting and get in alignment with that, so you don't have to work so hard. Okay, I've had knee luxation, and since then, just problems with without 3 ligaments, and after 1 year, I've been feeling constant irritation in the knee. I've been drinking 3 liters of water, and I'm taking broth soup. Nothing helps. Well, Jaka, what is important to understand, and this is what happens. This is kind of a pissy attitude that a lot of people with knee pain have, and they'll try. They're only getting as what is it Robert refers to as a pipe dream, is because they're limiting their options. Like if you're missing 3 ligaments in the joint, then the stability in the joint is not really there. There's a limited ability to reestablish the tensegrity structure, what I was talking about before, our Buckminster Fuller. And we have to look at all of the resources that we could bring into the scenario in order to give us what we need to find the solution out of pain. So when you get into this place, well, I've drinking 3 liters of water and doing broth soup, well, that's liquid. Your body is more comprehensive and intricate and expansive than that. So if you're just limiting yourself to what you're drinking, well, it's probably not going to work. Or some people that just focus on exercise, and I've tried everything and nothing works. Or I've gone to the doctor and I've gotten shots and I've taken drugs and I've had surgery and I'm doing physical therapy. Nothing works. It's because it's not the whole friggin' story. It's just a part of the conversation. And you need to take in all of the different elements that play a role in whether the knee has pain or not. Water, nutrition, breathing, mindset, exercise, mobility, stretching, supplementation. There's emotional components that go into how we stand as men or women in the world. And if you want to start ignoring those different components that need to be brought to the table, well, you can't come crying to me saying nothing works, throwing your hands up to the sky, wringing them. Oh, it's horrible. And I'm doing this because I want to shake you out of that thinking that doesn't serve you anymore. It's ridiculous. It's small-minded. It's like a 2-year-old that wants the cookie, and you don't give them the cookie. And then they cry because they don't have the cookie. But if you go, you can't have the cookie. Look at that bird outside. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, it's pretty red. And now the 2-year-old is not complaining about the cookie anymore. You have to think bigger. Quit being children about pain. Okay, so if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe to my channel. Turn on notifications. Ask your questions over on the side. Where you at, Robert? You ain't got anything, do you? Okay. Anyhow, what's important to understand that it's more comprehensive. You want a solution? Head over to my website, thekneepainguru.com. Get on my newsletter list. I send out daily emails that it's about shifting your mindset. It's a big piece. If you have to shift your mindset in order to be in a place to be receptive for it. Because if you've already shut off the possibilities of how this works, then it doesn't matter. None of it's going to matter. Okay, stability is not there, yes, which might cause irritation, so they want to do surgery on ligaments to establish better alignment and composure of the knee and bones. Yeah, that's a big piece. Jack, I had the same thing. I tore the ligament in my left knee. I would turn a certain way and the knee would dislocate. And what's important to understand is that reestablishes the tensegrity structure. You have ligaments that are crossed in your knee. You have ligaments that run parallel with your knee. There's a bunch of ligaments that help to establish the tensegrity structure or the balance in the joint. If the ligaments don't exist, then it's really difficult to reestablish the tensegrity structure. That's why it's important to have a mechanically sound knee. If the knee is mechanically sound, now we have the framework, if you will, to begin to look at how to reestablish the tensegrity structure and look at all those conditions so the body's going to be able to heal itself. Okay, let's see. Had the luxation 4 years ago, since then 2 surgeries. What surgeries have you had? Jaka. Did multiple physio and types of stretching and God knows what else. And that's the big piece. What's important to understand is that if you're just looking in the conventional medical model, it's limited. They're there for one reason and one reason only. 2 reasons. You want to diagnose the issue. Medical model is very valuable to diagnose the issue. And second is to repair something that's broken or torn. You have a torn ligament, you have a torn tendon, you have something broken in the knee, you fractured the bones, the patella, whatever it is. That's what they're really good at. Outside of a mechanically sound knee, the conventional medical model doesn't have a whole lot to offer. It's actually quite limited in their understanding of how the mind and the emotions and nutrition and hydration and all of those other components play a role in how your knee feels. First surgery was stitching of the meniscus and replacement of scar tissue cleaning. Yeah, the big thing, Jaka, is the ligament surgeries. Ligament surgeries is a big component of what was going on, and I have a good, what is that, about a 6-7 inch scar on my left knee where they took out the patella tendon to reestablish the ligament in my left knee. So I got a pin in the bone in my lower leg. Yeah, it's like, as you're saying this, if they cleaned up the meniscus and took out scar tissue but didn't repair the ligaments in the knee, I don't know. I'd find another doctor. Okay. That's what we got. Any other questions? Please put those in the comments section. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up, like and subscribe to my channel. Turn on notifications for future videos. You want to know your next action steps to do, and this is very important. I'll put these in, I'll redo it so you have the little tabs up at the top. Get on the newsletter. Sign up for one of the programs when you get over at the website. It'll begin to teach you how to change that neurological signaling, reestablish the tensegrity structure in the knee and in the body, and get you out of pain. Teach you how to recover faster. After I changed doctors, and second surgery was removing the meniscus, this time removing the ACL. Yeah. That's the big piece that's going to make a big difference, is when the tension in the joint is reestablished, the connection between the bones. The stretching piece, in order to increase the range of motion, this ties into the degeneration of the cartilage. If the joint is too bound down on itself, it's going to rub. The body's been through a lot. It's been through several surgeries. Jaka, your body's been through several surgeries, and because it doesn't have the ligaments, it's squeezing down to protect itself. That tension is the pattern that I was talking about earlier, where it begins to dehydrate the joint, and irritation and wear of the cartilage and meniscus begins to take place. So the ability to fully flex and fully extend the knee is going to be dependent on changing the neurological signaling locally in the knee. There's also the hips and lower back that play a huge role in that as well. So, okay. That's what we got. Okay. That's all for today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all those that contributed. This is Bill Paravano, the Knee Pain Guru, going to sign off for today. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next video.